Good evening, dear citizens. In a few hours, Easter will begin. Outside, nature is blooming, and we long to go out into the open air and to each other, to our loved ones, family and friends. That is what we were used to. That is how it was. But this year, everything is different. It's painful to forego the visit to parents. Grandparents' hearts are broken because they are unable to embrace their grandchildren, even now at Easter. And much more is different this year. No colourful throngs in the parks and cafes. For many of you, no long-anticipated holiday trip. For barkeepers and hoteliers, no sunny start to the season. For the faithful, no coming together to pray. And for all of us, the gnawing uncertainty, what comes next? Now at Easter of all times, during the festival of the resurrection, when Christians worldwide celebrate the victory of life over death, we must confine ourselves so that sickness and death do not triumph over life. Many thousands have died in our own country and in Bergamo, in Alsace, in Madrid, New York and many other places around the world. The images are distressing. We mourn for those who die alone. We think of their loved ones who couldn't even be with them to say goodbye. We thank the tireless lifesavers in the health service. And as much as all of our lives have been turned upside down, we think of those who have been hit especially hard by this crisis, those who are sick or lonely, who are worried about their job, their company, the freelancers and the artists whose earnings have collapsed, the families and the single parents in cramped apartments without a balcony or a garden. The pandemic shows us, yes, we are vulnerable. Perhaps we've believed for too long that we are invincible, that things would always go faster, higher, further. That was a fallacy. But the crisis doesn't just show us that. It also shows us how strong we are, what we can build on. I'm deeply impressed by the feat that our country has accomplished over the last few weeks. We are not out of danger yet, but we can already say today, every one of you has radically changed your life, and every one of you has saved human lives by doing that, and you are saving more lives every day. It is good that the state is acting decisively in a crisis there was no script for. I ask all of you for your continuing trust, because the political leaders at the state and federal level are aware of their immense responsibility. But what happens now, when and how the restrictions can be eased, that is not the decision of the politicians and experts alone. Instead, it's in all of our hands, through our patience and our discipline, especially now when it's most difficult for us. The feat that we are accomplishing in these days, we are not accomplishing it because we are being forced to by an iron fist, but because we are a vibrant democracy with responsible citizens. A democracy in which we trust each other to listen to facts and arguments, to show reason, to do the right thing. A democracy in which every life counts, and in which it depends on everyone and every individual, from the nurse to the chancellor, from the Council of Scientific Experts to the visible and invisible pillars of society, at the supermarket checkouts, behind the steering wheel of a bus or truck, on the farm or collecting the trash. So many of you are going above and beyond. I thank you for that. And of course I know we are all longing for normality. But what does that mean? To quickly return to the daily grind, to the old routine? No, the world afterwards will be a different one. What will it be like? That's down to us. That's what we are learning from the experiences, good and bad, that we are all going through every day during this crisis. I believe we are standing at a crossroads. This crisis has already shown the two directions that we can take. Will it be everyone for themselves, selfishness and hoarding, looking after number one? Or will we keep hold of this new sense of consideration for others and for society as a whole? Keep hold of the veritable explosion in creativity and readiness to help others. Will we stay in touch with the elderly neighbor who we helped with their shopping? Will we continue to give the supermarket cashiers and parcel couriers the appreciation they deserve? And more than this, when the crisis is over, will we still remember how we must truly value the jobs that are indispensable to us all, in the care sector, the utilities, in social work, kindergartens and schools? Will those who make it through the crisis more or less unscathed help those hardest hit to get back on their feet? And will we search worldwide for a joint way out of the crisis, or will we fall back into isolation and unilateralism? Let us pool all of our knowledge and all of our research so that we can find vaccines and treatments more quickly. And let us ensure within a global alliance that the poorest and most vulnerable countries also have access. No, this pandemic is not a war. Nations do not stand against other nations, soldiers against soldiers. Rather, this is a test of our humanity. It is bringing out both the best and the worst in people. Let us show each other the best in us. And let us show that in Europe as well. Germany cannot emerge strong and fit from this crisis if our neighbours are not strong and fit as well. It is not without reason that this blue flag is standing here. 30 years after German unity, 75 years after the end of the war, we Germans are not merely asked to show solidarity, we are obliged to do so. Solidarity, it is a big word, I know. But is it not the case that each and every one of us is currently finding out, in concrete and existential terms, what solidarity means? The survival of others depends on how I behave. Let us hold on to this valuable lesson. The solidarity that you are all showing every day will be needed even more in the future. We will be a different society after this crisis. We do not want to become a fearful or suspicious society, but rather we can be a more trusting society, with more consideration for others, more confidence. Is that too much to hope for, even at Easter? The virus does not have the power to answer that question. We will decide the answer ourselves. It is clear many things will not get any easier in the near future, but we Germans do not make things easy for ourselves under normal circumstances. We demand a lot of ourselves and expect a lot of each other. Even in this situation, we can and will grow. Happy Easter, best wishes, and let us look after one another.